I'm attacking. That went well again. Are you sure this is a good place for us to be?
Got it. Damn.
I hate thieves.
I'm attacking.
Damn.
I will end you, thief.
I'm afraid that isn't tolerated.
challenge.
You should go to the
Okay.
Fall.
Of course. This dome is truly a masterpiece of technology.
Hey, you've been out in the wilderness, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm looking for a guy, and I wonder if you've seen him. He's called Ray. He's an outlaw with a big mouth on him. Bit of a waster. You haven't met him anywhere out there, have you?
No, I've not met anyone called Ray.
Yeah? Well, if you do find Ray, can you let me know?
What's it worth?
If it's a real lead and not troll crap, then I'll pay you a decent reward for the information. But don't think you can go lying to me and making up where he is. I'll know a lie if I hear it.
Halt! Not a step further. No one is allowed into the city without an entry permit.
I heard you hold people prisoner if they can't prove their identities.
Of course. You need a valid ID to enter or to leave. It's important we keep the right balance here, and that we can hold people accountable. We've worked hard to keep things running here. We can't start letting people flood in, or the troublemakers will take over. Anyone who tries to get around with ID is given straight to the suggesters to be taken care of.
What's a suggester?
Our suggesters are the reason things remain peaceful in the city. If someone causes trouble, then they're either thrown out, see a suggester for reorientation, or both. But don't worry, it's a positive experience that will leave you happy about life. Even so, I recommend avoiding it. Halt! No.
You know counterfeit IDs are being sold right in front of your gate.
What? Have you got one? Show me. Well, that's good quality work, too. I'm not sure I would have spotted that as a fake. Thank you. We need citizens like you around here. You've done me a service, so I'll give you a valid ID. Just make sure you take this fake straight to Eric when you get inside, right? Oh, and there are some rules I need to tell you before you enter. First, stay away from the generators. Nobody but the technicians is allowed access to them. That sort of security is why we need to keep a rein on fake IDs. So take that fake straight to Eric, okay? Anyone you meet in the city who hasn't got proper documents, report them to him. We can only keep peace in the city if we all work together, and we keep the city secure. That's what was laid down by the Great Council of Magalan. And the Great Council gave the clerics the responsibility for guaranteeing the city's independence. That means everyone is welcome here until they cause trouble. So keep the peace while you're in there. Our suggesters are busy enough without you adding to their workload. And that's it. You may pass.
What's happening in the city?
Nothing right now, but it's simmering. You can feel it. There was something building even before we let those Alp separatists in here. They just lit the touch paper. But hey, we're supposed to be a sanctuary, so someone decided to open the gates and let the separatists in.
How many separatists are there in the city?
Too many. Once an Alb, always an Alb. They still hit Elex. It's just a matter of time before they turn back. I don't know what they want in the city. I'd heard a bunch of them had set up a base in the west of Abessa, so they could have gone there. If we weren't so busy here, we'd have tracked them down and cleared them out of Abessa. Last thing we need is Zakor thinking we're harboring rebels.
Where can I find Eric?
Just go straight down the path into the inner city. You should find him there.
You mentioned the Council of Magalan.
The Great Council, yes. You'll have to speak to Judicator Alois if you want to know more about that. I'm not that well informed on my history.
Who's Alois?
Alois is the Judicator in charge of the city. You'll find him in the castle. He likes to stay close to the generators.
What do you want? Do you back the clerics here, or do you want them gone?
You get right to the point, don't you?
And are you gonna give me an answer?
I'm for the clerics.
You think they bring security? That they protect us? They say they're here to keep things safe, to keep order. But it's obvious they want to drop their neutrality and extend Ignadon's control into Abessa. Not allowing anyone in or out of the city. That's just the start of it. You think that's because the Alps are getting closer? Or that those followers of Kalan really want a backdoor for invasion?
The Albs are more of a threat than the clerics.
Executions, converters, torture. Believe me, I know all about that shit. But do
Who's out there? Did you lose something? Hey, you.
Hey,
You don't have any broken
who's
energy
out there?
weapons, chainswords, or anything like that? That sort of thing is my business. So if you find any, bring them to me. I'll give you good prices for them.
Did you flee here from the desert?
Flee? No. But to live in Tavar, you need shards. And despite my talents, I wasn't one of the Duke's favorites, and that made making a profit hard.
You think it's better here?
Yes, for sure. For me, at least. And those berserkers are the worst for it. One of those assholes killed my friend for fun. Now that bastard is focused on me and nobody's helping me. Even though they know it'll be their turn next, and keeping their head down won't save them.
Who is this berserker that's giving you trouble?
Braback. A bull of a man and twice as ugly. Bone-breaking bastard.
Let's try.
Okay.
About. Where can I find Braback?
He's usually near the inn. Just follow your nose. If it smells like piss, you found him.
Leave Braback to me.
You'll deal with him? That would be great, really great. You won't find me trying to put you off that. If you think you can scare him off so he leaves me alone, that would be good. Even if I do, I think ramming a knife into his guts would be a better approach. I would have tried that myself, but if I'd failed... But if you do get rid of him, however you do it, then I will pay you.
Hey, who's out there?
So, you come here from Goliath?
Goliath? No. I was exiled to the valley before I came here, but I hid myself in a crate and got brought up in the lift.
You escaped in a crate?
Yeah, those idiots had no idea I was in there. I waited till they were busy with the next one, slipped out, and I was gone.
You got lucky.
That wasn't luck. That was pure skill.
You were lucky.
Yeah, well, maybe I got luck and skill, but what I haven't got is beer. Feel like one?
Yeah, sure.
Well then, follow me.
What's happening in the city?
Well, the Dome City is a refuge for all. Outlaws, berserker, clerics, anyone who wants to be somewhere other than their homeland. Being away from home, you'd think they'd care less about what faction they were from. But for some reason, some of them have got even more fanatical. That makes keeping order difficult sometimes. The outlaws are the worst. They don't understand rules or sharing, or in some cases, that people have a right to stay alive.
You don't seem to like outlaws.
All people are welcome here. The Dome City is a refuge for all. But that means all, not just outlaws. There's a half-dozen outlaws hanging around outside the city at the old farm now. They just want to get in to cause trouble. I mean, we got everyone settled down and living together, and those outlaws, I just wish they'd disappear.
You want the outlaws in the farm to die?
Whoa, whoa, that's not what I said. I just want them to stop causing trouble for good.
About
You mean the threat on our doorstep? The canker in our midst? They who should disappear?
if the price is right, I will take care of the outlaws.
Are you sure you can handle this? Well, if you're willing to try, then I would be grateful if they'd vanish. I will have your reward ready when you come back. Oh, it'll be such a relief to know they're gone. But you need to prove you did it by bringing me their heads.
You want their heads?
By Kalan, what? No, no. What am I supposed to do with their heads? No, I didn't. Just make sure that the outlaws disappear. And don't trade with them, or you can forget your reward. And no heads. Don't bring me any heads.
Where are these outlaws?
They've gathered east of here at an old farm, not far from the city walls. You can't miss them.
It is not efficient for us to talk.
I've heard that. Are you here to seek shelter or to cause problems? This area is a sanctuary for refugees. There's nothing here for reavers, recruiters, or troublemakers.
What's wrong with you? Have I done something to piss you off?
Call it experience, but those in need and those willing to help don't normally question my motives.
You're a berserker. Is Adan trying to conquer Abessa?
I don't answer to Adan. And these people belong to no faction. They belong only to themselves. I stand as their protector against anyone who would force them to do otherwise. My only connection to it.
Carry on.
are the gift and treasures of travel, for it brings new encounters. So what are you? Merchant? Bounty hunter? Or a nobody, like most people out there?
I'm not in a faction.
Well, guess you're one lonely son of a bitch then, aren't you? Here, before you start begging for help, consider it a gift from the Duke. You gave me enough that I can share.
Thanks.
Don't thank me. Thank the Duke. If you end up in the desert in Tavar, you can thank him in person by joining the Outlaws.
How do people live here?
Here, smoke one with me, before you start bombarding me with questions, yeah? I have the best stuff here.
What do you have to offer?
Troll dung, rat scab, it's all first-class stuff. Snort it, smoke it, either way. You'll never forget the experience.
Forget it.
Well, that's your choice. From time to time, you need to open a door in your head and look inside, right? But if you won't, then all the more for me. That done, let's get into the real business.
Business? With me?
You see someone else here? Real business. A proper opportunity. You see, the clerics have had this city under their control for years. And the Duke thinks they're planning to take control everywhere, sooner or later. And he thinks the Dome City could be the starting point for their military campaign. So, my job is to find out if he's right, if there is something brewing that could be dangerous for us in Tavar.
What information have you gathered about the clerics?
Pretty much nothing so far. They've not been very loose-lipped around me. I must sorta stand out.
So, you want me to be your spy?
I want you to find out information. Now I can see in your eyes that you haven't fallen for the cleric's tricks. You aren't simple enough to believe every piece of troll shit you're fed.
What do you expect from me?
All that you have to do is get some answers out of somebody, and I've even got the guy lined up ready for you. His name is Lutz. He's one of Alois's technicians. As far as I know, he's trying to re-establish communications with the other clerics in Ignadon. While Alois will tell you the clerics here are neutral, separate from the ones in the Horde. Go and grill Lutz. Find out if there'll be an offensive soon. Do that, then come back to me as soon as you have any useful information.
Determining which faction to help against another is a very complex decision.
These shards should make it a lot easier.
How many shards are you talking about?
Enough. The Duke is generous. I pay. That much you can be sure of.
Where can I find Lutz?
If he's not on a call, then he's usually working maintenance on one of the generators. Just walk along the battlement path up at the top. It can't be far.
Why do you think that these technicians will know about the cleric's plans?
Because he's the guy that maintains all the communications equipment. He must have heard something from the comms. And he's more likely to talk than anyone further up the chain. I want to know what he's heard. I need to know what he knows. Who's that?
Are you here to seek shelter or to cause problems? This area is a sanctuary. There's nothing...
I'll do what I want. Don't get in my way.
I don't care where you're from or what you were there. Just leave me be.
I think I made her angry.
Ugh. I got that taste in my mouth again, like...
Are you here to see? There's nothing.
I'm not a Reaver.
Then I hope that means you're here to help.
You're a berserker. Is Adan trying to conquer Abessa?
I don't answer to Adan. And these people belong to no faction. They belong only to themselves. I stand as their protector against anyone who would force them to do otherwise. My only connection to Adan is my magic. I wish it was more, but wishes don't make things so.
Have you been exiled from Goliad?
Exiled? No. There are those in Adan who want to use my magic for their own purposes. Ever since my power started to grow, they changed me. Their mana changed me, and that change just won't stop. I'm becoming stronger and stronger. It is terrifying.
If that's true, why don't you use your power?
I do, I have. But sometimes it overwhelms me. That's why I fight alone. If I lose control of a spell, there's a chance I could kill anyone and everyone around me. The warlords wanted to test me, try my powers, to harness them. Now I need to find a solution myself. But to do that, I need to study the properties of Elex, to learn more about it.
Are you always so edgy?
You know you wouldn't need to diffuse things if you didn't get people wound up in the first place. Damn, this is like being back in Goliad all over again.
What brought you out here?
This is a place away from the war. A place people can make up their minds without being pressured to join one of the factions. If the people here wanted to join a faction, they would have. But some people aren't ready for that. Or they've been cast out. They have to go somewhere.
So there's no faction in charge here?
Well, the clerics keep order, but it's not like the Horde where entry means you have to join them. Here you can forget about factions.
I could use someone like you.
Use? There's a word I've heard too much. Well, count me out. I'm not interested in being used.
I could help you.
What do you know of what I need? What do you know of how to help me? Elex marks people. Mana, chems, exposure from food tainted by it. It stays with people. You have its mark on you. You're different somehow. What is it about you?
I took Elex in the past. Is that what you're seeing? Or is there something else?
Took it? You were fed it. You were an Alb soldier. Well, it seems we have something in common. We've both been fed Elex in one form or another. It's changed us. And neither of us know what that means we are now.
What do you think? My offer still stands.
And what exactly is it that you're planning?
I am going to end this war by taking the fight to the Elexitors. And I'm trying to put together a group skilled enough to win that fight.
And you think I'll take part in this?
In return, I will help your quest to find the Elex you're searching for. Then you can improve your magical abilities. You said yourself, the longer you are here, the more you fear your powers will overwhelm you. The longer you stay here, the more danger you put these people in. If you really want to protect them, you need to leave.
Even if that's true, why should I leave with you?
I was an Alb. I know Elex and I know magic. I know the impulses that follow you even during sleep. I know the nightmares and the problems of trying to control power that really wants to control you. And I know what it's like when all that is taken from you. We can help each other.
And it's not like I have other options. Not in the long term. You're right. I'm hiding from it here. I need to get out there and find a real solution. I'll wait by the main gate, and we'll see if your actions can match your words. You should stock up here before we go.
I will meet you by the gate.
Just don't keep me waiting, or you might find I change my mind.
That was remarkable.
You think you know what's going on? No one knows what's going on.
You don't feed the belly, the rest of the body will die.
The fight is the only thing that matters. That makes a real man.
We need to sort things out with those traders and get more supplies in.
Nah.
Hey,
You. Hey. It's you.
Yes, Fink. It's me, Jax.
I heard they shot you down. That you were dead. Apparently that was wrong. But if you're here, does that mean you're a separatist now? Will you stay here and support our cause? I'm sure you would be very welcome.
What cause?
We've broken free from Zakor, from being slaves to Elex. And we've worked, persuaded people to allow us into the city. And now we're here, we are working to be allowed to stay. Would you be willing to help us?
I will give you my support.
Good. We have to stick together. People blame us for this war, even though we left Zakor to escape it. They will doubt us until the day peace begins. I mean, they don't even trust each other. Among all these warring people, all these different agendas, we, you and I, share a similar destiny. It's the only way anyone will survive.
It seems like you're tolerated here in the city.
That is exactly what we are. Tolerated. We are still a long way from being accepted.
Alms who have freed themselves from the influence of the Elexitors. Fascinating.
There are definitely those who see us as a novelty, which is all right, as long as they also understand that we are also people. This city is a place of freedom, but all the old suspicions remain. The outlaws claim they are being oppressed. The clerics say they are neutral, but they aren't. The berserkers, they don't seem to know what they're doing, apart from avoiding their laws. We are trying to discover who we are. I think people see that we are all here for a new start.
Do you need help?
It is good that you offer to help us. The berserkers are already trying to get us thrown out of the city. We need the protection offered by this place. We won't survive without it. We've persuaded people here that we are worth a chance, but there will always be those who won't see it that way. And the Albs and Zakor want us dead. If we're to stay, we need someone to get to Caleb and Jorg. They are key to our future.
About the threat of you being thrown out of the city. What is the problem with Caleb and Jorg?
Jorg is a berserker. He's accused us of spying for the Albs and Zakor. He claims he saw us handing over information about the shield generators. It's completely illogical. We are the ones with the most to lose if Zakor captures this city. But the free people are prisoners to emotion. It makes them doubt logic. They have already thrown one of our group out of the city. Now they are threatening the rest of us with the same fate. We are no friends of the Albs and Zakor. They would see us dead. We want this to be our home now. We need the free people to understand this.
I will help you.
Good. That is the response I wanted. It is best if you go straight to Jorg. Caleb is already attempting further arguments to ensure our expulsion. But it is Jorg's statement that has put us in danger. That lie underpins Caleb's argument against us. If people believe we are working with the enemy, we will be exiled from the city and left to die. But if Jorg confesses his lie, then Caleb would no longer have the proof he claims. They would have no reason to expel us.
You don't feed the belly, the rest of the body will die.
What do you want from me? To drive me off? Or maybe even have me killed? You don't scare me. Your people are a plague upon this land. Although, there is something different about you. Do you usually spend time with people like us?
I was an Alb myself once.
Yes. You stopped taking Elex. That is rare, which makes me question how you did it.
Hello? Is someone there? There's nothing for you here, so why don't you just leave?
What are you doing here?
I saw you.
You saw me what?
I saw how you came through into the dome. Who are you? Why were you allowed in?
That's none of your business.
Then it sounds like you got in here illegally. As much as the clerics claim they control the gates, they really don't seem to be able to stop people getting in. And by that, I don't just mean you. Can you believe it? There are fucking Albs in the city.
What do you have against the Separatists?
They are coming here, to our city. The only city with a real chance of peace among the factions. If it was up to me, then we would make sure these Albs went somewhere else. They might say we have the same goal, the same enemy, but I don't believe a word of what they say. Who says they aren't spies sent here to deactivate the dome? They can't be trusted.
Who are you?
Caleb. I lead the Berserkers who've chosen to settle here in Abessa.
You are separate from the Berserkers in Udan?
We have kept our beliefs, but left behind the laws. We have set our own rules here. Well, none of us are allowed to return to Edan now. Or we just end up being sent to the valley. As to why they came here, well, the first settlers were sent to Abessa to plant a world heart to expand the forest of Edan out here. But they were cut off from Edan by the Albs, left on their own to survive. And after a while, they decided to keep it that way. The warlords in Goliath weren't happy. But they're stretched too thin for another conflict, so here we are. And since they settled here, others have joined us. Some are escaped exiles, others just chose to leave Edan.
You want to have all the Separatists thrown out of the city?
Yeah. And you know what? I have already started to make it happen. I'll recruit anyone who'll help get this done. We have an eyewitness who claims to have seen the Separatists exchanging information with the Albs. Traitorous bastards.
What information do you think they've shared?
The Berserker Jorg saw Fenk meet with an Alb in front of the city. Why would they meet if it wasn't to exchange information about the dome? Sadly, Jorg is the only one who's seen Fenk. And now he started saying he isn't sure he really saw Fenk meet an Alb from Zakor. So I have to jog Jorg's memory, or make sure he stops denying what he said. There has to be a way to do that.
You don't think that Jorg could have been wrong in the first place?
No, never. You can't trust these Separatists. They'll betray us sooner or later for sure. I'm telling you, this is just the beginning.
Hey,
what are you doing?
You're new here in the city.
Yes, I've just arrived.
I thought so. I saw you come through the gate, you see? Anyway, I want to ask you something, if that's all right. Have you been to Edan recently? To the Berserkers' city of Goliath, to be exact. A good friend of mine is still there.
Who's your friend?
His name is Kral. He's a guard at the Mana Shrine. At least, he was when I left. He thought he still had a chance to save his brother, Grimar, from the Alb Converter. Do you know what happened to him?
I met Kral. He's doing well.
That is good news. Then maybe I should risk going back to Goliath so I can try and get him out of there. But for now, I'm just glad to know that he's doing well. Thanks. And thanks anyways.
Tell me about your life in Edan.
Me? I was a worker at the pit. You know, I extracted Elex from old machines so it could be transmuted into mana. I always wanted to join the Hooded Crows and learn the art of magic, but it wasn't to be. My parents forbade me from trying. My clan told me to stop trying. Not that any of that stopped me. And that's what got me banished. I stole mana from the shrine to try and learn magic myself. And I got myself caught. They sentenced me to exile in the Valley of the Damned, but I escaped. I'd seen the Domed City when I was sent on patrol, so when I left Edan, this was the place I thought of. And here I am.
I would like to learn Berserker magic.
Well, it's pointless asking me. I didn't manage to learn anything useful before I was exiled. You would have to join the Berserkers. They won't teach their magic to outsiders. But I don't know if I can recommend that in all good conscience. I left, after all. You will have to decide who you want to join.
I'm watching you. Hey, there's someone there. What are you doing here? What was that? What was that? Nah, what do you want here?
If you're here for the food rations, then I'll tell you what I told the other 100 people. Someone must have been making a joke. I don't have anything to sell or give out, so you can just turn around and leave.
What are you talking about?
The free rations. The free rations, as if there would ever be free rations. Ah, but you're not here for that, are you? Then I'm sorry. I have been the butt of a joke that has left me rather angry, and I thought... Well, I'm sorry. It's just... I'm just so sick of it. The belligerence between the Berserkers and outlaws. Everything was simpler when I was a cultivator in Goliath. We had laws and everyone obeyed them. Why can't people just all work together?
If you feel that way, why don't you go back to Goliath?
No. Those days are gone. I left willingly to establish a world heart here in Abessa. But when it became clear that the seedling wouldn't grow, Caleb decided that we would remain here. And whatever Caleb says is best. But now, no, I can't go back. We went against orders from Goliath. If I go back now, they'll just stick me in a cage, no questions asked.
Fenk sent me.
Did he? Well, I don't have anything to say to those Albs. This whole thing between Caleb and Fenk is starting to get on my nerves. I shouldn't have said anything, okay? But what's done is done, and that's that.
Tell me your version of the story.
My version? I'm stuck between the two of them. I told Caleb in confidence that I saw Fenk meet an Alb outside the city. Could have been a separatist, but I wasn't sure. I didn't see any more than that, but Caleb decided to tell the clerics. He convinced me that the Alb Fenk met must have been from Zakor. But I have no real idea who he was, or what faction he's with.
About this situation...
Do you have any idea what I should do? I feel this is a mess.
Go to the clerics and tell them you made a mistake.
I can't do that. Caleb will call me a traitor. And for all I know, Caleb is right. That Alb could have been from Zakor. What if Fenk actually is an Alb spy?
spoke with Fank. He is not a spy.
How can you be sure? Whatever it was I saw it. Don't you think it's suspicious? And even if this Alb was a separatist, we don't really know what they want either, do we? No. No, it's too risky just to hope he's innocent. I can't say anything to the clerics.
If that is your decision.
Yes. I'm sorry, but we can't risk it. Not if Caleb could be right. You've helped me decide. Thank you. The Separatists must leave the city. I will go to Caleb and tell him that I won't say anything.
What are you doing here?
I can make sure.
Do you think you can make York stick to his origin? It's for the good. So go to York. Either help jog his memory a bit, or make sure he stays quiet. I don't care which. It can never be said again that the Albs might be innocent.
Hey!
Hey! Who's
Hey, you-
there?
What do you want here?
What do you want? Do you back the clerics here, or do you want them gone?
I'm for the clerics.
You think they bring security? That they protect us? They say they're here to keep things safe, to keep order. But it's obvious they want to drop their neutrality and extend Ignadon's control into Abessa. Not allowing anyone in or out of the city, that's just the start of it. You think that's because the Albs are getting closer? Or that those followers of Kalan really want a backdoor for invasion?
The Albs are more of a threat than the clerics.
Executions, converters, torture. Believe me, I know all about that shit. But those guys are only interested in Elex, and as far as I know, there isn't any more here in the city than there is elsewhere. So why should they show any interest in attacking a fortified position to get it, instead of sweeping up all there is out there?
The Albs want all the Elex. All of it, no matter where it is.
We won't get in their way. We don't want Elex. They have to see that. They'd be attacking us for nothing. No, it's the clerics.
Why don't you do something to stop the clerics?
What's that got to do with you? You expect me to trust you just like that?
Hunter sent me.
Why didn't he come himself?
He was afraid he wouldn't be let out of the city again if he was caught.
You mean he was afraid the same thing would happen to him that happened to me? Fuck it. At least the suggesters haven't found me yet. Did Hunter give you something for me?
No, he didn't.
Shit. He was supposed to get me an ID card. Fucking clerics. What am I supposed to do now?
I have your ID card.
What? Now you've got it? What, did you lose it before or something? Just give it here.
Here.
Thanks. I was starting to think that I would never leave this stinking cleric-infested dome. I don't know if Hunter promised you a reward, but here's something from me in any case. You've helped a good cause. Trust me.
That was well done. That was well done.
What do you want here?
The domed city is our last.
Hey! Is someone there?
What do you want? Do you back the clerics here? Not allowed.
He was...
You mean... Did
That was well done.
What is wrong now?
What is it you want?
Who are you?
You first. Come on. Who are you? There is something that is familiar about you, but I can't quite place it. No matter, I suppose. All people are welcome in Abessa, as long as they are prepared to forget their past. Even Albs are allowed in here. I think Albs would be perfect people if they weren't so emotionless. But then, that is why they are the only faction I have never belonged to.
What do you mean? You mean you want to become an Alb?
That's a long story. If you're really interested in my tale, then I will tell you, of course.
Tell me your story. How did you end up joining the clerics?
Right, I'll give you the full version. Well, the short version of the full version.
Just get on with it.
Okay, I'll try to keep it short. So, I grew up in Goliath in Edan. My father and mother were both born berserkers, and so that meant I was too. Back then, Bajar ruled over Goliath. As a child, I had no interest in the laws, of course. But when I was about 12 years old, one of the warlords came to our home. He took my parents, and I was left on my own to survive in the city. I remember him. I remember my parents leaving. And I remember me screaming. But everything else is gone. It's just a blur.
What happened to your parents?
Well, what else? They were exiled. Nobody ever told me why they were exiled. I still don't know what they did, even today. I hate the Berserker laws. Nothing against the Berserkers. They're just people. It's the laws I hate. I think what the Berserkers want to do with Magalan is right. But I can never forgive them for what they did to my parents. Why was I punished for whatever my parents did? Why wasn't I told what had happened? I swore never to return, and I haven't set foot in Edan again.
Where did you go?
Wherever I needed to survive. That meant running from reavers and wild animals. It didn't take long for some reavers to take me captive. And then, I don't want to talk about that. I was lucky, though. After several years, the Reavers were attacked by some of the Duke's outlaws, and they took me back to Tavar. I learned how to fight, how to live off scrap. Life wasn't much different from Edan, but there wasn't the same raptor shit. The laws. You could be who you were, and no one judged you.
Then why didn't you remain with the outlaws?
Because the Reavers who'd taken me captive came to the fort and wanted to speak to the Duke. I think they wanted to take me back. I fled when they saw me. I didn't want to be taken back, or for them to kill me to hide their crime. When I left the fort, I ran into a cleric patrol. They convinced me to go to the Hort with them. Not that I really needed that much convincing. All those hours taking scrap apart and putting it back together in Tavar really paid off there. The clerics recognized that I was good with technology. So, I've been working on mechs and AI systems since then. Building things. Trusted. Part of a team. And it's easier being with mechs. They don't judge anyone. They treat everyone the same. Like this place. I know it's not perfect. But outlaws, berserkers, clerics, even elves are seen as people. At least that's the vision. Not always the way it happens. That's another reason to maintain these mechs. To protect what we have here. Well, I hope you find your place in the world. It's good when you do.
Hey, who's there? What? What? Is there someone there?
I advise you to step carefully.
Hey, who's there?
Hey, you!
Let me guess. I'm not allowed into the upper quarter?
What? No, everyone's allowed to move about freely here. I just have a question for you. You got here recently, right? I just want to know what things are like outside the dome. What's going on out there? Are the Albs attacking?
There are raids, but there have been no major assaults recently.
I'm sure that's just the calm before the storm. I just hope the dome holds. There's a lot of people depending on this dome of mine. So they pass us by like a river around a rock. Kalan gave us the knowledge, and now look what we've achieved. A safe harbor for all people. The clerics and Ignodons say we've strayed. I say we've found the true path.
What are you doing outside Ignodon?
Kalan teaches that every pure spirit will find salvation in Kalan's arms someday. He will find us wherever we are. So, when the Great Council chose us to serve here as guardians, the clerics did their duty. Now, we stay to show that a cleric's oath is strong, and so that we can demonstrate Kalan's grace to those who are yet to find it. So, here we stay, to help the lost free themselves from chems, from Elex, from the Albs. Everyone is welcome in the domed city. Everyone is safe here. My name is Eric, by the way. Chief engineer here in the dome. I'm in charge of all the generators and technicians who oversee them.
Why don't the clerics have a dome like this in Ignodon?
The dome requires immense amounts of energy, and the fluctuations in it have to be constantly balanced. The technology is complex. That means there's no way to cover the Hort with a shield like this. Besides, the cliffs around Hort give it a natural protection.
Can this dome survive an Albatech?
Of course. Why do you think we built it? As long as we can maintain a constant energy flow, then they can't get in. Unfortunately, achieving that isn't so easy. Some of the energy regulators are starting to malfunction again.
I can repair the energy regulators for you.
Thanks for the offer, but that's not necessary. I've already repaired the components. They just haven't all been installed yet.
About what will happen if they aren't repaired?
If just one regulator fails, it could mean an emergency shutdown for the dome. Otherwise, the discharge it would create could kill a whole lot of the people the shield is supposed to be protecting. But whether it's a discharge or an emergency shutdown, both scenarios would see us defenseless.
How many energy regulators are broken?
Well, all of them. I've sorted replacements where I can. But Lutz hasn't received his yet.
I will help you with the energy regulators.
I'd wanted to do it myself, but do you really think you could handle it? So, let's find out who you are. You should go to Ignodon one day. You could be a good cleric. Yeah, I know, I left Ignodon behind, but they could offer you better training than I could. I have the energy regulator here. Please, take it to Lutz and help him to install it. Come back to me when you're done.
I have a forged ID for you.
Are you trying to get me angry? Let me guess. Gregor, the Dome Guard, sent you. I told him 1,000 times I'm not responsible for these things. Alois is the city's supervisor. You should report such matters to him. Go on, go and play Gregor's messenger boy.
I will take the ID to Alois.
Ah, no, it's all right, it's all right. Just give it here. I'll take care of it. Shit, I'm sorry I bit your head off. It's just, I've got enough to deal with without getting bogged down in the petty stuff. But Gregor keeps sending me every task he comes across. If there's trouble with the generators or the dome, then I'm your man. I have enough to deal with without counterfeit passes or toilet breaks for guards or shortages of hinges in the West Quarter. Still, that's not your problem. Thank you for bringing me the pass. Please, take your reward for honorable service to the dome. I'll check to see who this ID was customized for, then a suggester can take care of the rest. Deceit like this can only lead us to uncovering a greater lie.